Are you thinking what I'm thinking?
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Esports Money, ZSM, Mac 10, whatever you want to call me, and today we're going to be going over my guide to jungling Tinker. Tinker is a pretty interesting jungler in the sense that he clears neutrals faster than pretty much anyone in the game once he has enough farm and levels. However, early on in the game, he's really bad at it. So we're going to start with an Iron Talon because the Iron Talon is just like, if you're not a natural jungler, then the Iron Talon's essentially like, it's a requirement. You got to get it. We're going to cut down all of these trees over here, and then we're going to go... I don't even need to cut down some of those trees, but I hate trees, so I'm going to cut those down, go over here, grab the first bounty rune, and then I'm going to go cut my typical choke at the bottom of this medium camp next to me. Again, I'm just cutting down trees because I have time to kill, waiting for creeps to spawn. And then as soon as I do that, I'm going to run in, I'm going to cast my March, and then I'm going to Iron Talon a creep before any March charge hits it, so that the Iron Talon does the maximum amount of damage possible to the creep. March only lasts 3 seconds, and with this video sped up, you kind of really see how short the March duration is. I'm going to take a lot of damage in this process, but it'll be fine. Totally fine. Totally acceptable. Going to wait for a second. I'm actually going to wait until the cooldown on my March has expired before I attempt the next camp. And this was, I don't know, maybe my 5th complete run that I attempted, and I made one mistake early on in stacking that could have significantly hurt me, but I still end up getting a sub 10 minute Boots of Travel Iron Talon and bottle. I think we're at like 9:30, 9:40 when I hit bullet, but anyway, so I get the laser second because the laser gives you a mischance, so if for some reason you're actually getting hit by a creep or you're in range of getting hit by a creep, it doesn't hit you because they miss. I'm going to go ahead and use my March on both of the camps here. One thing that I will warn you though is you might want to start by pulling the medium, then use your March in the spot that I was using it, because if you don't, your March might actually miss the creeps there. Many times I've actually missed the creeps there. So now I'm going to go down and basically, if you've watched any of my range jungling guides, this will be a familiar phenomenon. I'm hiding in that little tree crevice that I made for myself. Also, I am going to max March by level 7. 100% I'm going to get a point in March every time I possibly can. Even though it does increase the mana cost, it increases the damage drastically, and the damage of that spell is absolutely absurd, considering its massive AoE. The mistake that I was talking about earlier was just made. I did not stack that camp at the minute mark, which is relatively significant because that's basically a free camp, so that could theoretically cut down the time in this jungling guide about 20 seconds, putting me about like 9:20 in getting my Boots of Travel, and that includes having the Iron Talon and the bottle. The bottle is a very nice choice for jungle Tinker if you can camp the bounty runes, just because you'll just always have mana and health. That's why I don't buy tangos at the start. And I'll take shrine charges as I need them because I'm freaking Tinker. 10 minutes isn't the earliest time to get Boots of Travel with Tinker, but it's early enough that you can still use it to be a presence on the map at least. So now I'm going to go over here to my favorite medium camp and march them down. And I will get a point in my W here. It doesn't really matter if you get 2 points in Q or the W. Getting 2 points in Q will allow you to kill units quicker when you actually use the Q, which I don't really much after getting a couple points in March, just because March is so much more efficient. It's kind of a waste of mana. But if you do plan on using the Q for whatever reason, then... I'm stacking this camp, by the way. If you do plan on using the Q for any reason, then you can put a second point in it, but if you have 1 point in your Q, 1 point in your W, and then maxed out March, I think that's generally the most efficient way to go about Tinker, just because it gives you like at least a teeny tiny bit of kill potential on top of that farm potential that you'll have once you have Boots of Travel. Boots of Travel is an interesting item on Tinker because a lot of items, kind of like the Mask of Madness on Faceless Void, a lot of items in this game that I jungle up to are items that I'm saying, alright, now you have this item, go fight. Or now you have this item, you can go super farm in the case of Battle Fury. In the case of this guide, we want to do both, just like the Mask of Madness. The Boots of Travel on Tinker lets you farm all over the map, but they also give you map presence. They let you split push, they let you jump into fights you wouldn't normally be able to be involved with. It's just an incredible item on the here because of the way his ultimate works. So going to go ahead and use my favorite March of the Machines here. And I don't think that would have actually hit them, so it's good that I walked in and checked. That's sort of what I was talking about. This actually happened to me for the first time with, I think, an Ogre Camp, and then I realized that it was even a possibility. So I am going to make a tiny, tiny misplay here, and I'm going to cut a tree to try to make myself a little bit safer, and I cut the wrong one. But again, not the biggest a deal. I'll take a right-click or two from a Centaur Camp, and considering I'm level 6, that's not that much damage out of my total health. So I did actually successfully stack that, and I am going to follow it up with another cast of March. This is a little bit annoying right here. Since I used my Iron Talon already, I have to walk down to maintain aim if I'm not super, super careful. So it might be worth it to run up the hill, chop down the tree first, and then use Iron Talon on the creep, because it has a 4-second cooldown when you cut down trees, and 19-second cooldown when you, or 20-second cooldown when you use it on a creep. And just going to go check and make sure this camp was cleared. I actually thought there was more stuff in the camp than that. I didn't realize I did that much damage with March, so that was a nice surprise. Actually, kind of a not nice surprise because I was factoring in that money, but you get the idea. Using your March on Mud Golems is always a little bit sketchy just because Mud Golems have such high magic resistance that it's kind of inefficient against them, but once they explode into little tiny baby Mud Golems, it's pretty efficient just because the baby Mud Golems are 4 targets with very, very low hit points, so even though you don't do much of your original damage, you still do a decent amount of damage. You do enough. So now it's time to do the old-fashioned stack arena. I'm actually going to chill here for a few seconds. I could have been doing something else, but I wanted to be sure that I got the stack. And then as soon as I know that's cleared, I'm going to walk over, take a right-click from him, and then throw out my March. Now, my March is level 4, so it's going to do a lot of damage. Unfortunately, I don't have any mana, so I'm not going to be able to cast it a second time, which is really, really, really annoying. I'm actually going to take a lot of damage here. Again, this is mostly just being careless. Again, in a real match, you'll probably want to be a little more conservative and not like get this close to dying just because, yeah. So, 9:45, I made a few less mistakes, easily in the low 9 minutes, and I have a bottle and an Iron Talon, so it's pretty sweet. So, thank you guys for watching. My next one is usually Blink Dagger, sometimes Soul Ring and Blink Dagger, but always Blink Dagger. Hope you enjoyed this guide. Hope it helps you out. My name is eSportsMoney, ZSM, Mac10, whatever you want to call me, and don't forget to subscribe. If you have the time, you can stack Ancients, but it's not that efficient anymore. Peace!